Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for another episode of the Back Pages. The first two episodes have went down incredibly well. It's time for a third. We usually do it on a Sunday. We moved it because of the fixture yesterday, Celtic versus Hamilton. But it's the same concept. Let's see what the back pages of those newspapers are saying on Monday, the 3rd of August. The Dembele shirt, let me address it straight away. I swear it'll be fixed for the next video. Right now, I'm hungover. I am not getting up to fix that shirt. There is no chance. Next video, I swear we will. But anyway, it's the back pages. It's time to see what the papers are saying to the weekend of Scottish football. The return of Scottish football on a competitive level anyway. Which is just a glorious sentence to say. I'm still chuffed that the fact that the league football is back. And, you know, hopefully the season doesn't get interrupted by a second wave of coronavirus. But let's keep it on the positives for now. Let's think about the good things. We're not going in a negative direction with this. We're just going to try and stay happy. And hopefully the fans will be back in the stadium soon. A very impressive 5-1 win yesterday for Celtic. If you want to know my thoughts on the game, my 3 things that we learned video is up from yesterday, featuring my car, and you can see what I think of the game there. But today we're going through the back pages, and it's a Monday, which means we've got a wee bit of a change of personnel, some better papers you may say, depending on what you think. First off, the Daily Record, and you know, usually we go with the back pages, we start in the back, but the front page of the Daily Record today, is that a familiar face to you? A familiar face here, Craig White up to his old tricks again. The Record investigates as banned ex-Rangers owner poses as his dad to advise firms how to dodge debt. Now, this is a man who absolutely destroyed Rangers Football Club. He wasn't the only one, of course. David Murray and the rest of them, they're all crooks and they ruined Rangers to many different opinions. But he's at it again. I mean, we're not going to be talking about it that much because it is, of course, front page news. It's nothing to do with the sport. But it's crazy to see all these years later that he's still getting away with murder and he's still making the front page of Scottish newspapers. The disgraced former Rangers owner's dad is the sole director of Fortress Restructuring. But a Record investigation has found overwhelming evidence that White, who was banned from being a company director after his disastrous spell at Ibrox, is central to the business. There's no surprise that he's helping people dodge debt. It's Craig White, and he's an absolute crook of the highest order, as I've already said. So that is the front page news in the Record today. But the back page news, we have a lovely photo here of the two beautiful gentlemen themselves, Neil Lennon and ODSONNE Edouard. We'll head them off at the pass. Lenny vows that he will keep his hat-trick sale after a brilliant display yesterday, a hat-trick against Hamilton, as reported by Michael Gannon here. Neil Lennon reckons English clubs will be tuning in to watch ODSONNE Edouard, but warned any admirers that they'll face, no, they're not going to get them, basically. That's what's been said. Scottish football is right now the only show in town, with the Premier League not back until next month. Edouard put on a Super Sunday masterclass with a slick hat-trick as the Hoops hammered Hamilton on the flag day at Parkhead. Lennon admits that a lot of teams will be coming in looking for him, but it's good to see that that's not going to be happening. I don't think we'll let him go. I don't think we should let him go, of course. If any Celtic fan you ask was to give you a different opinion, then they'd be off them not. But Edouard staying at Celtic is pivotal this season, as we've seen yesterday. He's just another level of player. He's almost just godlike now with the way he plays football. Just unbelievable. And if we were to sell him, I'm expecting at least £40 million, especially at the time Celtic find themselves in. There is no reason we should look for any less than £40 million. And I'm not saying he's a £40 million player, because I think football prices have went to the point they're just daft. I don't think anybody's worth £100, £200 million, never mind Edouard being £40 million. But if that is what the market is looking at nowadays, and they're looking at for players of his quality, then I think we should be taking the £40 million. So that's the first thing, and that hopefully Neil Lennon does stick to that, and we manage to keep a hold of Edouard no matter how many suitors may be looking. On the back as well, Gerrard eyes Euro shock night. Stephen Gerrard says his Rangers Warriors believe they can cause a major European shock. The Light Blues fly to Germany tomorrow for Thursday's Europa League Last 16 clash, trailing 3-1 to Bayer Leverkusen. You know what? The fact is, Bayer Leverkusen haven't been playing for a month or so now. Rangers are back into playing football. There is always a chance that Rangers could do it. I don't think they will, especially if they do have the likes of Kai Havertz playing in that Leverkusen side. But look, don't write them off. They've done really well in Europe this season. I must sit down and admit that they've been good. But I think Leverkusen will have enough to get over the line with a 3-1 lead heading into their home ground. I think they'll have more than enough to beat that. Some stats from yesterday's game. Celtic, the new normal. Nope, it's the same old normal as the record is saying. It is the same old normal, picked up right where we left off. Fantastic stuff from Celtic yesterday, and I couldn't be more chuffed. More on Odsonne Edouard, and then there's some stories at the side. Bio may join up with St Mirren. I think that would be a good move if Akuniswaf Bio was to go out to St Mirren on loan. I think that he needs to get some football, and that's probably the team for him to go to. I would love him to stay in our league to get some experience playing in our league and playing with the physicality which is Scottish football. So St Mirren would make a good move. That story's by Fraser Wilson in the record today that St Mirren are keen on bringing in Akuniswaf Bio, and then it's just a lot more stuff on Rangers from the weekend, and of course a piece on Kieran Tierney. They couldn't forget to talk about the hometown hero. Well, he's not a hometown hero, but you know what I mean. Celtic boy winning the FA Cup. Fair play to Kieran Tierney, is a born winner, and that is a very good bit of silverware to add to his career at such a young age. He is going to go right to the very top. We all know that. We've all seen that for years. Every Celtic fan will tell you the same thing. So fantastic stuff for Kieran Tierney. Decent stuff in the record today. The main takeaway is we need to keep this guy. That's who we need to keep. Paper number 2, a very thin one today with the Daily Star, usually a lot thicker on a Sunday. 10 pence cheaper than the Sun, by the way, so make sure you're firing in. Back page, once again, it was no shadow of a doubt who would be making the back pages. Today's papers, there he is again. Odsonne Edouard. Ed is a turn on. Yes, he is. I'll give you that. Good headline. Lenny tells English sides they can keep their eyes off. The same piece in the Daily Star. This one as well by Michael Gannon. It's the same piece, you know, word for word. So hopefully we do manage to keep him. And then once again, Gerrard on the back pages talking about how he thinks he can cause a shock in the Europa League this week. I mean, if they do cause it, then I mean, if they manage to put out by Leverkusen trailing 3-1, I will be very surprised. But you know what? Let's wait till the game comes. Nothing else much in the style. We've got a piece on Hibs's Martin Boyle in the bag. Martin Boyle left no one in any doubt how important he'll be for Hibs this season after his goals at the weekend. And yep, of course, you're hearing people talk again about a move to either Celtic or Rangers for Martin Boyle, but I think that's a bit much. But Martin Boyle, no doubt about it, a very good player, a very impressive performance in their 2-1 win over Kilmarnock at the weekend. Chris Spock's goal, by the way, what a screamer. Not spoke about that in the channel yet. That was Ronaldo-esque from Chris Spock the other day. And then the rest is just kind of you know, reviews of the matches of the weekend. The Star is not up to much. We've got a piece on Ross County. Staggy's boss Stu sets the bar high. Stuart Kettlewell reckons his Ross County side are capable of a top 6 finish this season. I don't know what he's thinking, because I've tipped him for relegation, but who knows? Maybe Stuart Kettlewell is just looking at his team in an optimistic way, and you can't fault him. You know, you've got to have belief in your team. Your team's got to have belief in you. You can't come out and say you think they're going to go down. But a top 6 finish, is it a bit too much for Ross County this season? I would think so, but once again, dominating the back pages. It's the best headline of the day, and it probably will be one for the video. Ed is a turn on. He is indeed. Odsonne Edouard, absolute hero. And the final paper for today, we've got the Daily Express. It's Stevie Fitzsimon's favourite, the regular in the household. Obviously can't get it on a Sunday, so for the first time it's making its debut here in the back pages. The back page, I mean, once again, what's dominating? It's all you expected to see today. After a hat-trick and all the talk of teams want to see him, he was always going to be the face of the back pages today. Celtic 5, Hamilton 1. Michael Gannon appearing again. You've done well for yourself, Michael, today. And the other one at the top of the page, what is it? Gerrard thinks he can go through in the Europa League. So 2 of the same pieces that we're seeing elsewhere. And then just a review on the games. Really, Neil Warnes, keep hands off Odsonne. I want to see that drilled into everybody. Mayaki's never gave up, says Brian Rice. And fair play to Hamilton yesterday. They did come up and they tried to play some decent football. They looked dangerous at points. 5-1 is probably a lot. You know, it's a lot harsher than what it should have been for Hamilton. It was just they couldn't deal with the crosses, but they played more. They played better than what a 5-1 would suggest, is what I'm trying to say. Our bad press did for Dons. Scott McKenna reckons the Aberdeen defence can't shoulder all the blame for Rangers' winning goal. The Dons' defence came in for some heavy criticism after they were opened up by Ryan Kent. He was allowed to run through, and they're all 3 points for Steven Gerrard's side. McKenna insists the Gers got lucky because Yanis Hadji tried to dummy James Partnell's pass and it came off his shoulder. You know what, Aberdeen were absolutely abysmal on Saturday. Rangers quite rightly getting the 3 points, I must admit. I mean, I don't think Rangers were exactly spectacular looking, but they certainly had a tough gig up against an anti-football Derek McInnes side. And there we go again with Stuart Kirkwell talking about the top 6. Declan Gallagher determined to lead the team building at Well. Motherwell captain Declan Gallagher aims to use their trip to Dingwall to further integrate his new teammates following the challenges posed by coronavirus restrictions. So Declan Gallagher really wanting to make sure the team gel this season. They go as, you know, try and forge on with what a fantastic season they had last year, a 3rd place finish, unbelievable stuff last year, and Gallagher's relishing his first match as club captain this weekend, it says. Big honour for him, of course. He is Scotland's centre-half, now the captain of Motherwell. And he'll probably have a lot of big ambitions for Motherwell this season, a team who rightly should have a lot of ambitions following on the campaign they had last year. And apart from that, once again, you're just kind of getting your typical match reviews from the weekend. There's not a lot of big stories coming out the papers this weekend. The main one is that Celtic must keep the man himself. Simply put, if you have enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.